Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy and I'm a casual runner. I love participating in marathons. I did my first one in 2017 and with a timing of 5 hours and 20 minutes. And over the last few years, I've been on a mission to improve my timing to whatever I can. So I ran the last one just 3 weeks ago, the Amsterdam Marathon, and I had a PR of 3 hours and 23 minutes. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my journey on how I improved my marathon timing. So I'm going to talk about things that went right, things that went wrong, and overall my experience preparing for this marathon. I think one of the first things that I'd like to mention is that this marathon, I had a very long commitment of time, 5.5 to 6 months. I started preparation for the Amsterdam Marathon around May this year, and the marathon itself was in October. So roughly around 6 months, a little less than that maybe. So I think this time I had enough time to build my mileage, and plus I was consistent. So I think consistency and more mileage, that really pays off in the preparation to the marathon. So over this last 5-6 months, I have done an average mileage of around 55 to 60 kilometers per week, considering the highs and the lows. I've had breaks because of illness, I've had breaks because of an injury, but what mattered is that you take some time off but then come back again strong. So I think that worked pretty well. My peak mileage week just before taper was 70 kilometers, just 2 weeks before the marathon. So I would have preferred going a little longer, but I couldn't because of the breaks which I mentioned, because of illnesses and injuries. But I think overall I ended up being quite fit for the marathon with the preparation that I had. So I think duration of the preparation is very important. Previous marathons I had much less time. I think for every marathon I've had like 3 months, maybe maximum 4 months, and I think the longer duration gave me a much better time. The second thing which I think I did right was to put more focus on strength workouts. So this time my workout structure was a little different. I ran on 5 days a week. I had one rest day. I had one focused strength workout day which my coach prescribed, and I also went for a little bit of an additional light strength workout one of the days when I had a lighter run, I think Tuesdays. So on most of the weeks, not on very heavy weeks. As the mileage increased later on, I stopped doing 2 strength workouts, but just to give myself recovery time, better recovery time. But more often than not, I was doing more strength workouts. I was lifting weights. So a lot of these strength workouts focused on the core muscles used for running, the quads, glutes, hamstrings, and I also did a little bit of upper body, basic push-ups, pull-ups, things like that, and a bit of core, 2-minute planks and Russian twists. So those basic muscles were the focus every week. Wouldn't do the same set of muscles on both the days per week. Maybe one set on Tuesday, one set on the heavier ones on Thursday, things like that. But I think that goes a long way in strengthening your muscles for the endurance run in the marathon. It helps you endure better. 2 other things which I think also played a part in my improvement I had extra carbs every day. So this last few months, I've been having 2 extra parathas. I'm not sure exactly how many calories, but I can assure you it's more than around 150 calories per unit, per paratha. Paratha is an Indian bread, stuffed bread. So probably around 300 to 400 calories extra I started consuming in the run-up, and I'm still consuming. Actually, it made a big difference, I think, because that extra 400 calories made sure that I was able to maintain my energy levels. I think before I started consuming this extra calories, it was even affecting my sleep cycle. So I think when I improved my calorie intake, when I improved my food, it also helped me improve my sleep. Because before I started this, I had trouble sleeping continuously in the night. So I would wake up in the night. Initially, I didn't know why. Then I read some blogs, I followed some influencers, and sort of got a hint that maybe it might be because of underfueling. So it was affecting my sleep patterns. I wasn't feeling waking up well rested. So I think that also helped my sleep. So that's a good learning from this last marathon. Understanding my fueling needs better. So this went right this time. And good sleep meant good rest, good recovery, and I could run better with less injuries. Okay, I'm almost done with the warm-up. Today I'm doing a tempo session, small tempo session, 3 kilometers warm-up, 6 kilometers I'm going to run at 440 minutes per kilometer, and then I'll get down to cool down. So I won't be able to record while I do the tempo, so I'll see you right after it. Here we go. Okay, see you after the break. Right, done with it, done with 6 kilometers tempo. I'm not able to cope with the heat. The heat really makes it more difficult to run. It sort of brings me to the next thing, 3 kilometers of cool down, and I'll try to finish talking during this 3 kilometers. So catch my breath first. So I think the next thing which went right, or which goes right in most of the marathons that are held in US or Europe, is the weather. The weather conditions are absolutely brilliant. Cold weather, which sort of helps you run for longer durations without getting much tired. So I think that's something that goes right in these kind of marathons. If I run in Lagos is around 30 degrees. I'm not sure how much today is, but it feels really hot. It feels hotter usually because of the humidity. So that's one more thing that went right. And before I forget, since I'm sweating a lot, hydration is something that I took care of very well this time. And in fact, I went for months without taking any alcohol. So I think that goes a long way. Alcohol sort of dehydrates you pretty badly. It ruins your sleep cycle as well. So apart from the fueling, I think hydration also went very right for me in the previous marathon, in the run up to the previous marathon rather. So let me get some water, take a water break, and then I'll talk about the rest of the things. So one last thing that I think went really right for me this time was that I decided to be more public about my preparation for the marathon. I've always kept things a little quiet. I'm quite an introvert actually. I don't like talking about my personal stuff. So this time I started sharing stuff on social media, and basic stuff like workouts or photos of the places where I run, and videos sometimes. I started creating reels as well this time. It was nothing really extraordinary, but I found a lot of people who supported me among my friends, who encouraged me, who motivated me by telling that I motivated them. So it was like many people, I mean, it was like a revelation for me that many people are so affected by these things that they come up to me and say that it's a great thing that you're doing. And these small things count. My wife always has been supporting me, and with her strength and support, I've been able to get very far. And my coach has been very supportive as well. But I think the additional support from all the people in my network, that also went a long way, especially when the training got really hard and you feel like, you know, in the middle of the marathon training, you really feel that it's getting really difficult to cope with. And then I would wake up in the morning, and then when I remember some of the things that my friends said or people who are in my network said, I still get up and I said, I have to do this. I have to do this for myself, for my friends, for my wife, for everybody around me who think that this is a great thing to do. So I think that went a long way. So if you are preparing for a marathon, or if you're doing something, setting a personal goal, I know a lot of people say don't talk about it much, but I mean, there's no harm in sharing the progress with the people around you, that this is what I did last week, this is what I did today, and not about what you're going to do, because you haven't done it yet. There's nothing to talk about the things that you plan to do, but the things that you have done so far. I mean, it's good to share with people, and you don't know who is really out there who sees such content and probably starts running or gets inspired to work out, moves away from procrastination. So I think those are good anecdotes or stories that you can take up as a motivation for yourself. So I think that went really right for me. I think in a nutshell, those are the things which went right. At least those I can list out. Now coming to the things that didn't go right, that went wrong. To be honest, not many very significant ones. I think one of the things that I think went wrong was the carbo loading the day before. So I reached Amsterdam on Saturday and the marathon was on Sunday. So in the morning after I landed, we went to the hotel. We were very sort of lazy, so we didn't go for the breakfast immediately. We said let's go for the biff first and then we'll come back and take the breakfast. Sort of a miscalculation on our part. We went out, reached the Marathon Expo, and we ended up spending a lot of time there. We thought that we'll have a coffee and a croissant or something there to sort of start the day's carbs, but even that didn't happen. That didn't materialize because it got really crowded at the expo hall, and we just wanted to get out. And we ended up missing breakfast, and we ended up missing the small snack as well. So carbo loading went really wrong Saturday, the day before the marathon. We went out for lunch and I was really hungry. I mean, you're not supposed to be so hungry on a day before the marathon. I mean, you're supposed to eat something or the other, keep yourself loaded. So I was famished, and we went and had some really nice meal at a very nice restaurant we stumbled upon. I mean, we were just walking and I said, I'm really hungry, and just opened Google, and right next door there was this 4.6 or 4.7 rated restaurant. We went in and we really enjoyed a good meal there. And then later on in the night, again, I thought that I would have another snack in the afternoon after the lunch. Even that was skipped because there was literally nothing around the hotel which we booked. Almost nothing. We thought that there might be some small restaurants or pizza joints or something. Didn't happen. We went and then we decided that we'll just have dinner in the hotel itself, because I didn't want to walk around and I wanted to give my legs a rest. It ended up that the hotel had only one restaurant and that was a fine dine restaurant. Fine dine restaurant for carbo loading. Not a good idea at all. We went in there, we said fine, let's just have some pizza or a pasta or something. They didn't have any of it. And then we ordered something which was made of wheat. We thought that should be enough for carbo loading. And then we said, even if it costs money, we'll order like quantity. And I mean, we felt like country bumpkins, thinking that we'll get a lot of food in a fine dine restaurant. And they gave us these tiny portions of food, which was probably really good. But given our state of mind, we didn't enjoy it. And the carbo loading went haywire. So we went back to the room, quite hungry actually, after the dinner. And my wife was worried that it's not enough. I was saying that let me just have some bars, energy bars or something, and go to sleep. But my wife said it's not enough. So we went out again later after dinner. We walked around, we looked and searched on Google. We found some pizza joint around 1.5 or 2 kilometers away. And I think it was around 1.5 kilometers away. So we went there, we bought pizza, cheap pizza, and we hogged like pigs on the road while walking back to the hotel to save time, of course, because I wanted to sleep as well. So that's something that went wrong on the day before, but I don't think it affected much because I guess on the last day it really matters, but somehow it didn't really pull me back, I think. And I started during the race, I started consuming gels really early on, and I think it made up for it somehow. In the morning also I had quite a bit of food, like 2.5 hours or 2 hours before the marathon, so I think that made up for some of it. Another mistake I made, the second mistake I think, was again fueling during the race. I was going really strong till around 32 kilometers or till around 33 kilometers. I was going really strong. My pace was really good. I was quite hopeful that I'll be able to break the target, but I made a mistake of not consuming another gel after 34 kilometers. So that's something which I should have done. I should have had another gel after 34 kilometers. I had the previous one around 27, 28. I should have had something at least. And I didn't end up bonking, but I think it affected me a little bit. I would have probably had more energy to finish stronger if I had that gel around 6 kilometers before the end. So I think those are two mistakes which I made. Other than that, nothing really went wrong. The weather was a little too cold actually, and that's one more thing I think. I think I should have dressed a little bit better for the cold weather. I'm not used to the cold weather because I run mostly in the hot, sunny conditions in Lagos, and I'm not used to dealing with cold wind or chilly weather. So I think that again didn't affect me per se in the run, but it affected my confidence. My mind was constantly worried about getting too cold, and I was trying to run faster and faster, which made me probably go a little too fast in the beginning. So minor mistakes, because at the end of the day I still ended up doing a 4-minute PR. It's quite good actually, considering everything that went wrong. So there were more things that went right than things that went wrong. So eventually I think I still had a very good marathon. So in a nutshell, those were things that went right and wrong in the marathon. You know, like I mentioned in some of the videos earlier on, you can't always be in control, but I think it's the sum of everything. There are things that go wrong, there are things that go right, and if more things go right, then you're on the positive side. So, and what is important is to give yourself time to be able to stay consistent. I think that trumps everything, almost everything, all the speed workouts and the strength workouts and everything. So I'm still on the bench about the next marathon. I'm not really sure which marathon I'm going to do, or what I'm going to do next. Probably I'll skip the marathon next spring season. I want to give myself more time this time. I want to see if I can break into faster speeds. Preferably, I'm going to be 40 next month. So I'm hoping that in a year, or maybe a little over a year, I should be able to qualify, get a good time for the Boston Marathon qualifying time. A bit too optimistic, I think, but there's no harm in trying. Doesn't mean that I will push myself to the extent that I might break. Doesn't mean that, definitely, but I'm going to still try and be ambitious and see if I can break 3 hours within 1.5 years. So I'm going to give this spring a break. I won't run another marathon. I'm going to train for a longer period, try to be more consistent. I might get a few 10k or a half marathon done in between, shorter formats, not the marathon, because when you run a marathon you end up taking a longer break. You need more time to recover. So I'll probably run shorter formats and try to be more consistent with the training. So yep, that's the plan for now. Those of you who have been watching this channel, I keep posting about my running, and also I travel quite a bit, so for work and for personal reasons. I mean, my wife and I, we like traveling, so we have done 31 countries so far. We hope that 2024 we can do a few more, and I keep running in those places where I travel to. So if you like that kind of content, please do like and subscribe. I think I try to be as consistent as possible, and if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, take care, bye bye.